The Haunted School. In a small village nestled among hills, there was a school known for its disciplined students and strict headmistress. But within this school was a teacher, Lady Koi Koi, who was famed for her beauty and her cruel nature. She was a woman of great allure, with deep dark eyes and a figure that turned heads wherever she went. But while her physical beauty was undeniable, her heart was not kind. Lady Koi Koi had an air of elegance, and she loved to wear a pair of bright red high heels. The distinctive click-clack sound they made as she walked through the school's corridors was well known, and students would listen in fear, knowing that when they heard that sound, Lady Koi Koi was near. Her shoes made such a loud noise that it echoed in the quiet halls, and it was said that it was impossible not to hear them coming. But this sound wasn't just a sign of her presence, it was a reminder of her cruelty. Her students dreaded her because she was known for her strict punishments. No one dared to misbehave, for they knew that the consequences would be severe. She would often call students to the front of the class for even the slightest mistake, slapping them or making them perform strenuous tasks as punishment. Her harshness made her unpopular, but no one dared to speak up against her because of her authority and beauty. One day, after an especially cruel punishment towards a young student, the administration of the school decided that enough was enough. Lady Koi Koi was dismissed from her position and ordered to leave. She was furious. She had worked for years at the school and had expected to remain a fixture there, revered for both her beauty and her role, but instead she was cast aside. Consumed with anger and betrayal, she left the school in disgrace. Some versions of the story claim she had an accident shortly after her departure. Some say she was hit by a vehicle while walking home, while others say she drowned in the river that ran through the village. Regardless of the specifics, Lady Koi Koi died, still dressed in her signature red heels. But even in death, her story did not end. The haunting begins. After her death, strange things started to happen at the school. The students who remained in the dormitories at night began hearing a peculiar sound, the familiar clicking of high heels. At first, they thought it was just a coincidence, but soon they realized the sound was always heard after lights out, echoing through the empty hallways. The students grew fearful, convinced that the ghost of Lady Koi Koi had returned to haunt them. Some students who had dared to stay awake reported hearing the sound coming closer and closer to their rooms. The sound would stop outside their door, and they would hold their breath, too terrified to move. The clicking would eventually fade away, but no one dared to open the door to see what it was. A few brave students decided to investigate the haunting, but each time they tried to approach the source of the sound, they saw nothing. The corridors were empty. The mystery deepened. Whispers spread that the ghost of Lady Koi Koi had returned, vengeful and angry. Her spirit had not found peace and was out to punish anyone who dared defy the rules. Those who broke curfew, left their rooms, or made noise after lights out were said to be the ones she haunted the most. Many students began to report strange visions and apparitions. They would see the faint outline of a woman dressed in white, her red heels gleaming in the dark. Some said they could hear her whispering, calling their names. Others reported seeing her in the hallways, gliding past them, with her haunting beauty as captivating as ever, but now with an eerie, sinister presence. The legend spreads. The story of Lady Koi Koi's haunting grew with each passing year. Soon, it became a well-known legend. Students in other schools began to tell the story, and Lady Koi Koi's ghostly presence was said to wander beyond just the original school. The haunting expanded across the region. Many claimed that if you stayed too long in a boarding school, particularly after hours, you might encounter the sound of her heels. In some versions of the legend, Lady Koi Koi is described as being a tragic figure, a woman whose cruelty in life led her to an untimely death, and whose restless spirit is bound to wander, forever seeking the respect and attention she craved. Her beauty, which once garnered admiration, is now a source of terror.